Alright, we're starting a new unit today, and the big idea and what we need to know deals with a majority of factoring. Now, factoring can be tough if you don't know the rules behind it, but we're going to go step by step and talk about different forms of factoring. First one we're going to talk about is called the GCF, which means greatest common factor. So finding the GCF, finding the greatest common factor. And what that means is when it comes to numbers, we're looking at numbers and what's the highest number that goes into our set of numbers. So if I had numbers like 6, 9, and 12, what would be my greatest common factor there? What would be the greatest number that goes into all three of those? Well, we know that 1 goes into all three. We know that 2 doesn't. How about 3? 3 goes into all three of these numbers. Does 4? No. Does 5? Does 6? 6 goes into 6 and 12, but it doesn't go into 9. So we need to. So right now 3 is our best bet, and we can't go any higher than our lowest number, right? Because if I go to 7, well, the 7 doesn't even go into 6. 8 doesn't go into 6. 9 doesn't go into 6. 8, you know. So we can't even use numbers past our lowest number. So right now, looking at these three, what would be my greatest common factor would be 3. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times. That's how you look at it for numbers. For variables, you know, let's say we had x to the 2nd, x to the 5th, x to the 12th. Let's say we had those 3 right there. And we need to find what goes into each one of those. Well, here's a little easier. All we have to do is go to our variable that is least, which is x squared, and x squared actually goes into every single one of those. X to the 5th, you can't pull 5 x's out of 2. You can pull 2 x's out of 2, 2 x's out of 5, and 2 x's out of 12. And a visual of this, and it's going to be painful right here, so you have to stick with me. X squared equals x times x. X to the 5th equals x times x times x times x times x. 5 x's. X to the 12th, and I probably should use something less than 12. We're going to do 12 x's. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 x's here. So what we're going to do is we need to look at for the greatest common factor. So how many x's go into each one of them? Well, looking at our lowest, we have 2 here. 5, you can't pull 5 from 2. So your greatest common factor here would be 2 x's. So once you pull out your 2 x's, which is x squared, how many will you have left? Here, well, you'd have none. Here you would have x to the 3rd left. Here you would have x to the 10th left. Right? And that's what you'd be left with. And that is just kind of the beginning part of greatest common factor.